Alright, Sandy, if we're going to solve this quadratic equation, regardless of what method we're going to pick to use, our first step is to put it into standard form. That means we need to get a 0 on one side. So I'm going to start by moving this 2 over to the other side here, canceling those out, getting me the 0 on the right that I wanted. None of this stuff is like, so we'll just kind of bring it all down. Okay, and this is where we have to make a choice as far as which method we want to use. We can try to factor, but in this particular problem, it's just not going to happen. There are not two numbers that multiply to give us 2 and add to give us 5. So we really don't have any choice here but to use the quadratic formula. So my values for the quadratic formula are going to be a is 1, my x squared coefficient is 1, b is 5, and c is 2. Okay, so next step is going to be to plug into the quadratic formula. Okay, so here's our quadratic formula, minus b plus or minus big square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That's what we're going to plug into, so I'm going to get started with that. I want the opposite of b. B is 5, so I want a negative 5, plus or minus b squared, so that's 5 squared, minus 4 times a is 1, times c is 2, all over 2a, 2 times 1 in this case. So that's equal to minus 5 plus or minus 25 minus 8 there over 2. Okay, we can continue by simplifying that radical. That'll give us x equals, and that gives me x equals minus 5 plus or minus 17 over 2. You want to try to simplify this now. You want to look at the radical and see if you can reduce it at all, but 17 is a prime number. 17 times 1 is the only way to make that, so definitely no pairs in that. And then you've got a fraction when you finish the quadratic formula, so you want to try to reduce that, but there's no common factors in our coefficients here, so we're done, and this is the answer that we're looking for. And there's that new plus or minus button in MyMathLab, so I think you should just be able to enter it like this. If you want to enter it as two separate, remember that all that this plus or minus means is that we really have two answers, one that looks like this and one that looks like this. Okay, so either one of those two answers, the plus or minus or the two separate answers, should work just fine in MyMathLab. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any other questions.